My name is Jesse Potter. I'm a director of Revenue Enablement at Attentive, a mobile marketing technology company, and I've been in enablement for about 8 years now. Especially in this day and age, good enablement really involves operating with sort of a business within the business mentality, which to me means that we look at our revenue teams, both sales and CS, as our customers. So what that really requires is, number one, you have to have a really strategic alignment with your revenue leadership, and acting as a sales rep, identifying the needs, building solutions and delivering solutions that meet the needs of the business. With that, then, you also need to be able to build or source the right content for those audiences, which is sort of the product that you're delivering. And then you have to have a laser focus on the results and measurable impact that you can drive for those customers in order for them to, continue to want to buy from you, essentially. No sales leader that I've ever known is like, I'm really excited to buy a training or to buy a new enablement program, but they will spend whatever if it means that we can, increase their win rate by 10% or have more of the reps hitting quota. I think with that business within the business mentality, our enablement platform is how we deliver our product to our customers, right? So it is critical, and it becomes something that we look at not just from the perspective of does it work for our needs, but is it a good user experience for our learners, for our customers. So, it's a core component of that. And I think for us, what Highspot's really allowed us to do is to meet them more where they're at. And so we are a fully remote company. So we need to be able to deliver training and content and programming to them in lots of different places at any time and make it a really pleasant experience for them, number one. But also then, make it effective and make it so that it's not a burden on their time, that they're able to find things really easily. One example of something that we just did is we're in the midst of launching our second key product line. So moving from a single product to a multi-product company. And so we were able to build and launch a product certification within Highspot, deliver that to over 100 sales reps with custom tailored versions for each role, and get them all certified within about 3 weeks, which was, kind of a record for us for sure. And so that was really, to me, a great example of how, serving the needs of the customer, we were able to do so in a way that, wasn't so dependent on the resources of our team or the time, but really enabled us to scale at a greater level. So it's interesting because at Attentive, we actually have a very large CS organization, larger than our sales team, because we're a consumption business and we want to make sure that our customers and our clients are successful and continue to drive adoption. CS is a primary audience for us. So what we've been able to do is, first of all, we've got a tailored, unique experience for sales and CS when they come in so that CS doesn't have to wade through all the sales collateral to find what they need and, and just make it a really tailored and customized experience. So what we've done is that we've actually, before we got into building sales plays, we built out what we call adoption plays, which are primarily for our CS audience. And so what that does is it gives them recommended next steps in terms of new use cases, new ways to use the product, ways to combat churn risk, and as well as deal with competitors and things like that. So our CS audience is, incredibly excited about what Highspot delivers to them because it gives them more tactical, strategic guidance on how to approach those customer interactions. And that's, not something you see in a lot of CS organizations, is sort of that playbook mentality. Adoption is an interesting thing, right? Because there's definitely the sense where it just is about consistency and making sure that it becomes the single source of truth for where people need to go to find out the information or the content or the training they need to do their jobs. But there's also something about, using that customer experience lens. Is it something that people are going to actually enjoy and find value out of, right? A customer is not going to use a product that they don't find value out of. And so I really look at it as my team's job to make sure that Highspot is providing value on a regular basis. So we do things like, auditing the content to make sure that it's up to date and everything, which is sort of table stakes. But then using that same data to better recommend content to people within Salesforce or other tools that they're using, and make sure that it's really the only place that they can find that. And then, of course, there's also sort of the governance aspect of it, where you've got to kind of curb all the other channels by which content gets out there, whether that's just a team kind of going and doing their own thing, or maybe marketing or something working on that. So it's really about kind of standardizing on that central source of truth, enforcing good governance, and then partnering with those other teams and stakeholders within the business to help explain the why, and really, focus it back on the end user as our customer, and make sure that we're doing the right thing for them, and not necessarily what, us as enablement or marketing thinks is the right way to do things. We've got a couple of things that we've done fairly recently. I mentioned the product certification, in which in the course of 3 weeks, we were able to drive 97% completion rate over 100 reps, which, is huge for us. And also it happened to be at the end of a quarter, which is not generally a good time to be launching new training. But again, we met the needs of the business, and they were, they had that sense of urgency, and they needed to make sure that this was something that happened very quickly and we could measure. And so that was a huge win for us, is getting, almost 100% completion in a 3-week time frame. Some other things that I can call out is that those adoption plays that we talked about for our CS audience, we've got over 85% of people using that on a regular basis, which again is not a normal motion for a CS rep. They're not used to following a playbook and having these sort of prescriptive plays to follow. And so we're really happy that we've got such high adoption of those plays, and that's led to significant increase in retention and overall customer satisfaction. I think one of the reasons that I continue to believe in and support what Highspot is doing is that as an enablement professional, I feel like Highspot really understands the needs of me and what me and my team are looking for. And so they're really the thought leadership, the product innovation, the way that they go about supporting us as clients and as customers is really what continues to win me over. As more and more platforms are offering so many similar functionality, to me it really comes down to the support that I've gotten, the strategic thought leadership, and the fact that Highspot really wants to be the enablement platform for every company. And I think that's just makes it a great partnership.